Hello everyone, this is Scarzig, and welcome back to another episode of Duelyst. Today we are going to be playing some Vetruvian. This is a faction that I haven't played in some time. Even though people say that they are pretty weak right now, they have enough power to get by. I would just say that Vetruvian currently is a bit too fair, and you know what they say is that you don't win trading card games by playing fair. So you always need something that's a bit overpowered to give you the edge, which is the thing. But Vetruvian doesn't really have anything that lies too far out of line. So they really have to play by the rules. You're going to do a lot of thinking ahead with Vetruvian, especially to outplay your opponents and clutch some wins, which is a playstyle that I always really appreciated. So we'll see if I can do them justice today. And before we hop in the ladder, let me go over the deck list a little bit. We've got 3 Siphon Energy. This is a great 0 mana Dispel. It's really good tempo because you're able to squeeze this in when you're trying to make other plays. Like, for example, if you're at 5 mana and you really want to play your Starfire Scarab or your Dancing Blades, but there's like some other unit that's really threatening, the Siphon Energy is going to allow you to squeeze that in. So that's really nice. We've got 3 Scion's First Wish, great buff, draws us a card, 3 Dunecasters, 2 Ethereal Obelisks. I was thinking about trying to cut something to add a third, but having the 2 is pretty decent. We've got 3 Primus Fists. His attack buff allows us to trade up with Dervishes. The Rush's Curse is nice, mostly because it gives us a 2/1 body with Rush. Spawning that Dervish next to the enemy general is going to give us a lot of reach, and then it combos with our other things like Dunecaster and Primus Fist. You might be able to turn that damage into 2 damage, 4 damage along those lines to get some nice burst, or to poke a ranged unit or something down. So that's pretty good for us. We've got 2 Scion's Second Wish, which is just a solid buff overall. It gives a unit +2/+2, and it makes it so they can't be damaged by enemy generals. So your opponent is going to end up having to trade another spell or another minion into whatever you cast this on in order to get it to die, which will add a lot of value to this deck, hopefully. We've got 3 Fireblaze Obelisks. These are actually very strong. All of your Dervishes have +1 attack for as long as this thing is on the field, and this counts for the Iron Dervishes that are spawned with Zirix's Bloodborne spell. We've got 2 Scion's Third Wish, which gives a Dervish minion +3/+3 and flying. This spell is a bit clunky because it can only be cast on Dervishes. If you don't have Scion's Third Wish, you could easily substitute this for Saberspine Tiger. It does almost the exact same thing, where you're going to get that burst of 3 damage. You're still going to get some nice reach out of it, and Saberspine Tiger combos nicely with Scion's Second Wish. What I really like about Scion's Third Wish, however, is it comes in handy in late game scenarios where you're going to be more likely to have a couple Dervishes on the board scattered here and there, maybe a Dunecaster or a couple Iron Dervishes, and so the Scion's Third Wish can let you surprise your opponent by flying that in and attacking from a different angle than they might be expecting, or just being able to close the gap across the board if they've managed to get away from you. So Scion's Third Wish, very good for this deck, but again, Saberspine Tiger is an excellent substitute. We've got 3 Primus Shieldmaster, great value minion. The Provoke is going to keep our opponent off of our faces. It might eat a lot of aggro for us, and locking your opponent into place gives your Obelisks a chance to get some value as well. We've got 2 Wind Strikes in this deck. It's just a 4/3 with flying. Again, it allows you to pick what you're going to trade into because it's not limited by its movement, and it draws you a card when it dies, so it's always going to net you some sort of value. We've got 2 Dancing Blades here. Dancing Blades, solid. Summon it, deals 3 damage, any minion in front of it, and I've seen variations of this deck where in the 5 mana slot, instead of Dancing Blades, you might have Zen Rui or Sunset Paragon, some other form of removal. I just personally prefer the Dancing Blades just because I like the 4/6 body, and the effect to deal 3 damage is usually enough to soften up something to be killed, or to just take out something small and really maintain that tempo advantage. We've got 3 Starfire Scarabs, which were nerfed. These used to be 4/7 units, but now they're 4/6, so they're a bit easier for the opponent to deal with. But if you are able to combo it with a Scion's First Wish or something, then Starfire Scarab does work just fine for you. This is a pretty interesting unit, which I like for Vetruvian because you have to place it. You have to be really smart about where you play it on the board. If your opponent dispels it, you want to make sure that it's close enough to still be able to get into the fight. Because it's still a 4/6 unit. It's still a really solid body. But if it gets dispelled, you want to make sure, again, that it's close to the action, but far away enough that you can still take advantage of its blast. Overall, pretty good unit that gives you some meaningful choices, which is what I like to see in a card. We've got 2 Stars Fury as well. This can end up being a finisher for us if your opponent has a lot of units on the board. Stars Fury comboed with, you know, maybe a Fireblaze Obelisk on board might be able to net you a burst of 9 to 12 damage. And then, of course, finishing off the deck, we've got the 3 Amera Healers. It's a 5/5 with Provoke for 6. And when it dies, you heal 5 and it damages your opponent for 5. And that card is just going to keep you in the game most of the time. Your opponent's going to have to find some way to deal with it. Hopefully our opponent wastes a lot of their dispels on Starfire Scarabs or Obelisks or whatever, and then by the time you start dropping the Amera Healers, they don't have answers for them, or maybe they save Dispel for the Amera Healers, and then the Starfire Scarabs can get some value as well. Abyssian, this is a pretty interesting matchup. I played this a couple times while I was testing this deck, and I found that you need to... You need to be very, very careful about how you play this matchup, because it can come down to you missing like 1 or 2 damage, and then she just gets away from you and then scales into late game to kill you with Shadow Nova. I'm very curious to see how this matchup will end up looking after the Shadow Creep nerf. And I'd really hate to do it, but I think I might need to play the Dunecaster raw, just to get a body on the board to contest that mana. Even though it'll die to Demonic Lore or Blood Tier Alchemist, I think that the potential value of at least getting something developed is pretty good here. Even though we're losing out on some later value by not being able to buff a Dervish. Alright, so that's not too bad. That's a pretty standard opening. Scion's Second Wish would actually be really huge here, because the Spectral Blade would be useless, and then I can just kill the Healing Mystic. Let me see, if I wouldn't want to actually do that, would I? I've got a lot of options here, because I can cast Scion's Second Wish on this, and that makes it into a 4/3. And then if I kill the Healing Mystic, that leaves it as a 4/1. He won't be able to use the Spectral Blade on it, but then he can easily find a source of damage somewhere else with maybe like a Demonic Lore. Whoa. Okay. Maybe his kitchen caught on fire. He had to go. We'll we'll go back in. That was a bit of a false start. But while I'm thinking, what play would I have made there? Maybe just develop the Ethereal Obelisk, and I'd probably develop the Ethereal Obelisk, and then move the Dunecaster back to save the body. Just move forward, hit the Healing Mystic, and then Rasha's Curse to get rid of the Spectral Blade and then have the Dervish finish off the Healing Mystic. So we don't need all 3 Amera healers, although I appreciate your enthusiasm, ladies. And once again, we are left without a turn 1 play. Jeez. What if I cast Rosh's Curse and then took this mana away from him? I'd miss out on 2 damage, so it's not really worth it. 2 mana to deny your opponent 1 mana. Yikes. That Flameblood Warlock spooks me, because that lets me know that this is just going to be like a crazy face deck, which I don't believe that I can actually deal with. And Flameblood Warlock is kind of good because, you know, it does the 3 damage on the opening gambit, and then if you have to trade into it with your general like I just did, it ends up doing 6 damage overall. Dunecaster would probably be a bit too strong if it was only 1 mana, but I feel like you could get away with that. If the way Vetruvian's been in its current state, it probably would have been a nice buff, but with the new expansion coming out, it would have probably put them over the top. But at the very least, I'm able to get a 4/4 on the board with a 2/1. Okay, so this is just a Both Smash face deck. Okay. And we don't want to get frenzied. Instead of casting Scion's First Wish there. Wow. Instead of casting Scion's First Wish there, I could have used my Bloodborne spell, but there was a chance that it would have spawned like right here and then just died for free. I think we'll get rid of the... we don't need 2 Stars Furies. That was a mistake. That was a misclick. I didn't even let go of the button. My mouse... oh god. Because I wanted to double Primus this Shield Master and get a big hit in. Yeah, oops. Because I was gonna place it here, and that was just... mouse, why you fail me like that? So, I might be able to actually just stomp him into the dirt. He's going for very aggressive, like, play style, just like clearing my units and trying to get some shenanigans going, but I took the Iridium Scale off of him. Yeah, so yeah, this is like a one-man army Voth deck. And I'll be so upset if like he lives with 2, like if I'm not able to finish him because I'm 2 off of lethal. That's just going to be so upsetting. Let's see. If I step up, We've got 2, 4, 6, 8. Nope, never mind, that's lethal. Thank goodness. Whew. Nice. Yeah, he just played a bit too fast and loose there. And so we were able to punish him. And fortunately for us, he didn't have like a Mechanitor War Beast last turn and decided to go for the Grinch, which was a bit too slow. Alright, cool. We're almost rank 5. Give me one more win. Because I've been experimenting with a lot of weird decks and haven't been focusing on climbing. But it's getting close to the end of the season, so I'd like to at least hit Diamond. And then after Shimzar comes out, maybe I'll get serious finally and maybe climb for S rank. It's just that, oh man, you got to play a lot. You got to be, you got to figure out what the good decks are, play the good decks. I don't know. Like I said, a lot of the really good decks are unfair. You got to get to give yourself an edge, and it doesn't interest me at all. I like to play silly stuff. But although, like I said, this deck is a bit more standard than the stuff I normally play. Okay, so Obelisk turn 1. Finally we get a good opening. And then the Dervish gets good spawn. I can take mana. And then go to Wind Strike next turn. Starfire Scarab. I suppose that this is a pretty good hand. I'm wondering if I want to keep this Rasha's Curse. No. The reason I'm changing the Rasha's Curse is because it's Zeron, and normally they don't... Sometimes it's hard for them to make room for art. Wow, really? I just get it right back? That's rude. But, sometimes it's hard for them to make room for Arclight Regalia, so Rasha's Curse isn't too valuable in this matchup. I was hoping to get like a Siphon Energy or something. Whoa. What kind of crazy deck is that? Probably a bit greedy to like just overbuff one unit like that, but it's better than turning the Dunecaster into a 3/2 and then it just gets one shot. What a crazy play! Silverguard Knight not moving? This must be some kind of like funky troll deck where... What is this madness? Hang on a second. So I've got the Rasha's Curse. Okay, so we can Rasha's Curse and get a Wind Strike in the game here. Or what if I just leave the Rasha's Curse for now and then put up the Starfire Scarab instead? Wow, we're taking it real easy here, boys. This is... Like, I'm completely blown away by this. He's like, oh shit, Lamau. Okay, that was pretty sneaky. 5. So it's some kind of troll deck. Wow, I really got owned by that Decimate. Holy hell. But because I'm playing dervishes, all the units that he killed were like, a couple of them were just stuff that spawned for free. Like, I didn't swarm really, really hard and then get all of the value taken out. And so Decimate's down, Lightbender's down. So this is probably some like super duper control Ziran. It's crazy though that he let me get all that mana and was able to just completely nullify that advantage with Decimate. That was pretty clutch. Heals the Silverguard Knight. Okay, yeah, so we will, let's see. We'll summon the Fireblaze Obelisk here. Have these two dervishes trade into the Silverguard Knight. And then what this allows us to do is Rosh's Curse to break the Arclight Regalia. The dervish that we spawn can trade into the Lightbender. And then I'll just move down. Alright. I think this is, I'm not too worried. He got a really good play with the Decimate there. Alright. This is, again, really, really weak to a Lightbender. Which is, you don't see a lot of Lightbenders in the meta right now. This is like probably has a lot of like anti-Cassiva tech in it. But what we're doing at least is keeping him contained. Dervish spawn here, spawn here, spawn here, spawn here. Nice. Because even though the obelisks are dispelled, there's still bodies that he's going to have trouble moving through. And that's 2 Lightbenders down. So the Amera Healer coming down next turn for us should be a lot of really good value. Circle of Life, Starfire Scarabs going to start hitting him in the face really hard. Really fearing the Decimate. That was... oh my god, that blew my mind. But, let's see. Don't need the Star's Fury. Alright, so we're gonna try to start wailing on him here. Because he's done a good job of stalling the game out, but eventually Grandmaster's Ear and all that's going to start coming down. Hollow Grove Keeper doesn't really matter too much for us, because we still get its effect. Alright, so let's see. Yeah, just take out the provokes. We get another Iron Shroud, and this is where the Scion's Third Wish starts coming into play. Okay, double Scion's Third Wish. Grandmaster's Ear? No, Stormblade. So I can do 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, minus 2 because of the thing. Hang on. Minus 2 damage because of Arclight Regalia. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I'm 1 damage off. But, let's put all of our eggs in that basket. We actually want the Wind Shrike to go in first because it'll trade, and then that makes sure that the spaces are open there for the dervishes to fly to. Oh, never mind, that is lethal. Well played. Yo, that Decimate though. Shout out to Kevin Too Hard for trolling the shit out of me with that Decimate. I wish I could tip you more, my friend. I would tip him 100 gold. I would give him a pack for that Decimate, and I got Diamond. Woo! I'm so glad I was recording. That was like the trolliest play. I got completely wrecked. I'm so glad I was able to come back from that. And had he like gotten a Grandmaster Zir or something, I think that game would have went a lot differently, because Grandmaster Zir is a minion that when you die, when your general dies, Grandmaster Zir takes over and becomes your new general, and it's a 5/12. So it gives you, it's basically like a 12 HP heal after you die, and it allows you to keep going into the late game. But that Decimate, spot on. I think we have time for another one. This episode's probably gonna be a bit long, but let's go in and play one more. Okay. This is another matchup that you're gonna see on the ladder quite a bit. And it's 50-50, I'd say, from what I've seen of it. Don't want the Third Wish this early. Siphon Energy's kind of good in this matchup. Dunecaster is probably a bit greedy to keep. Okay, yeah, so getting the Obelisk is a bit better than the Primus Fist opening. Well, because here's the thing. If I open with the Ethereal Obelisk, there's a chance the Dervish might not spawn in a way for me to get mana. So I'm going to open up with the Primus Fist, so that there's a higher chance of me ramping up to 4 and playing the Wind Shrike next turn. If I'd kept that Dunecaster, I think that playing the Ethereal Obelisk here turn 1 would be correct. Rock Pulverizer. This is also a card you don't see a lot nowadays, but with Kara's Bloodborne spell and the ability to give her minions +1/+1 when they're in her hand, summoning a 2/5 provoke is actually pretty decent. Okay. I'm fine with that. So we are just going to... Yeah. We'll kill the Maw. And we're going to summon the Windshrike on... If I summon it on this space, it dies for free. We'll summon it here instead. Even though I'm not going to be denying that mana tile to him necessarily, the Windshrike will stay alive, and it will allow me to trade into something of my choosing, rather than him just slaying it right off the bat. He might just put removal on this thing anyway, so... Which is one of the keys of this deck, which I was talking about before, is that you kind of want your opponent to start wasting their removal on your other threats. So that when the Starfire Scarabs and the Mara Healers come down, you're going to be getting... They aren't going to be able to deal with them. Ooh, Sunsteel. Yeah, so this is what I'm talking about here. I could hit then trade, but I think Siphon Energy then trade is a bit better, because then I can move down, kill the Rock Pulverizer. That also allows me to develop another Windshrike. But I think Ethereal Obelisk Iron Shroud might be slightly better. Okay. That seems fair. We'll do this first. We want to draw our card first, of course. See if that changes our decision at all. Another Siphon Energy. That actually comes in handy. We're also going to move here. Against Vanar, you want to kind of control the center of the board, just as a good rule of thumb. And we're going to play the Ethereal Obelisk here to try to block her off. Alright. And Ethereal Obelisk, she might use Chromatic Cold on it, or she might go Cryogenesis and then attack it with her General. But then, again, that's just it taking removal for our other units that are going to come out. In this matchup, Starfire Scarabs, this is definitely one of the matches where you want to play it really, really close. Because there's a chance it could get, there's a very high chance it could get dispelled. And there's also a chance that it could get transformed. So this is pretty good for us, because the Dervish and the General can trade into the Frostbone Naga. And then I'll just summon the Starfire Scarab right in her face. Alright, so we'll see how this pans out, because generally she'll want to stand in one spot to kill this Ethereal Obelisk, or I'll get another Dervish off of it. And like I said, if she has a way to deal with the Starfire Scarab, dispelling it or transforming it, it's still in the fight. Huh, that's pretty cool. Bone Reaper definitely becomes more threatening when she's able to buff it, but I've been able to keep up the pressure, so she's been forced to play stuff and not necessarily buff things in her hand. I think using a Siphon Energy on this would be good, because it allows us to move our guys away from it. Yeah, because then I can step down here We'll bring out the Amara healer to keep him locked down. And then we'll start shooting. Do I want to hold the Fireblaze Obelisk? Yeah, we'll hold that. Why not? Another Provoke, Wind Strike. This is looking good. I was hoping that I could have baited out a bit more removal before I dropped the Amara, but I think that this is just a good time to develop it. Ooh, really good spawns for the Ash Mephit. That's your whole turn, eh? So we've got 9, 10, 11. Getting rid of the Fireblaze probably is best here, or maybe the Wind Strike. Another Starfire Scarab. Okay. So we're going to do something a bit interesting here. We're going to bring the Starfire Scarab back and provoke this one. And the blast is going to hit all the way through. Fireblaze Obelisk, just to get that developed. And then Amara Healer is going to hit. And... oh man. I think that it's best for me to hit here, because that makes it so the Amara Healer, when it dies, will drop him down to 1 HP. We'll see how he deals with this. You see the Ash Mephit can't kill the Starfire Scarab because of the Primus Shield Master here. And because I have the Fireblaze Obelisk set up in this location, he's not able to move out of the way of it. We'll see how he deals with this. Because, like I said, there's a good chance that he's going to start having some dispels and some removal. It's just unfortunate he hasn't drawn a lot of it this turn. This game, I should say. So, yep, drops down to 1 HP. He now needs to deal with the Starfire Scarab and the Fireblaze Obelisk. Ooh, very nice. Alright, so things are gonna start getting pretty sticky for us. I think we'll throw the Starfire Scarab. Scion's second wish doesn't do too much good for us. But I think that getting the 1 damage in shouldn't be too difficult. Because he did have to use a Saberspine Tiger here, and that's one of Kara's main win conditions, is being able to hold onto a Saberspine Tiger and buff it with her Bloodborne spell. Because the Iron Dervish is spawned here, and the Primus Shield Master is still blocking, we'll see how this works out. So what do you got, another Provoke maybe? I just need 1 damage. Give me the 1 damage. Hmm. Oh man, this is so tough. I don't have any Saber-Spine Tigers or Blood Tier Alchemists in this deck to get this last little bit of damage in. The Rock Pulverizer will have to trade into the Primus Fist. These two have to kill the Primus Shield Master. Or I should say, we'll at least have to stop to hit it. And that brings the... If the Rock Pulverizer trades here, that'll bring it down to 3 HP. Then I can buff the Iron Dervish to kill the Rock Pulverizer, then I can hit him with my General. Chromatic Cold. Okay, so that saves the Rock Pulverizer. And then it'll come down and kill the Dancing Blades. And it's the same outcome because the Rock Pulverizer. Yeah. Well played. Whoo! I gotta tell you, that turn where the board flipped and I didn't think I was gonna be able to get that 1 damage, I was spooked. But this deck probably has like the most consistent matchup versus Kara out of all the ones I've been playing for some reason. I think I'm just getting like hella lucky. Oh, but thank you for tuning in today. I will see you again soon, and you have a good one.